It only seems like yesterday Chevy redesigned their pickup trucks. I believe they launched in 2018, 2019, and then shortly after the HDs came out in 2020. I had just started doing YouTube. I may have one video way back when they did a new Chevy Silverado. Now here we are in 2025, and there is an upcoming Chevy Silverado full redesign. So it's gonna be a 2027 model, come out in 2026. That's kind of how GM does it. I don't know why they do that, but that's how they do it. Now I gotta answer a question before we get started. Do I still own my GMC? So many people have asked me this question because of all the stuff that happened with my business. So let's go ahead and find out. Now most of you guys know, who've been following for a while, my truck was parked over here. So what does that mean? Did I trade in my truck? Yes, I did trade my truck in on the Corvette. I did. Now you might be wondering, well, don't you still have like 2 trailers? I do still have 2 trailers, and I can't tow these with either my wife's car or of course my Corvette. So here it is. I do still have my truck. I did trade it in though. Now here's what I'm gonna say. This is just for you guys who aren't subscribed to my channel. If you're missing the uploads, that's on you. I'm not going to explain in this video what I did. I literally did a video right after the other videos. I had an issue with my business. I was transparent about it. So just go back and find the videos. Now, let's get back to the topic at hand. Chevy is about to do some updates, or really a full redesign is what they're calling this, on their upcoming Chevy Silverado, and to follow GMC Sierra is going to be probably a month or so right after them. GM has a tough road ahead. I have thoroughly enjoyed this truck. It has been one of my favorites. I think that back in 2019, 2020, I had made a video, and sometimes I almost wonder if someone from GM watched that video, because they literally built my truck. I literally said I would love to have a Power Wagon Ram, specifically in the 3500, but they missed the mark there, but that's okay. But I wanted that limited interior, you know, with all the luxury, with an off-road rugged look. That's what I said in a video years ago. And literally GM built my truck. Like seriously, like this is like my perfect spec. 35-inch tires, rear locker, electronic locker too, not a auto like they do on the standard trucks. And then you have the massage, heated and ventilated seat. It's just an amazing build. This is one of the greatest trucks so far today. Problem is GM's reliability and really just quality sucks. I'm being honest here. I haven't even done my 1 year with this truck yet, simply because I'm just waiting to see if, what's going to happen. Right now, the oil cooler failures are pretty rampant. Obviously, the 10-speed transmissions, they're having, valve body issues, which is why, even though there's no delete for this truck yet, I do want to delete it, but I'm too afraid to, because unless GM recalls the transmission, I wouldn't be within warranty to get anything fixed if I do a delete on this thing. But yes, 2027, let's go ahead and read this article. This shocked me. Here's the title of the video. 2027 Chevy Silverado interior sports huge screens in new spy photos. All right. The Chevy Silverado 1500 is immensely popular. Across the Silverado lineup in the United States, Chevy sold more than 540,000 trucks last year alone. Now, our spy photographers have caught a glimpse of what appears to be the next generation Silverado 1500, which we expect to show up late next year as a 2027 model. The overall size and shape of the Silverado appear to stay in line with the current truck, but it's hard to gather specifics without seeing under the prototype's heavy camouflage. We can see what look to be production-ready headlights peeking out from behind the coverings. The new units appear to emulate the jagged LED design found on the current crop of Chevy HD trucks. The back of the truck sports a new quad tilt exhaust design that replaces the current dual exhaust look. I believe the Tahoe Suburbans have a quad tube exhaust too. The photos also give us our first look at Silverado's updated interior, which will clearly feature ample screen acreage. From what we can see, the dashboard houses one continuous slab of glass extending from in front of the driver toward the center of the cabin. We've seen General Motors implement a similar design on a number of Cadillac models that feature a giant 33-inch screen stretching across the dash. Under the hood, we don't expect Chevy to make any drastic engine changes with the arrival of the next generation. Instead, we expect the 4 power plants available now to continue on with minor updates to fuel economy and performance. I know that GM didn't write this article, but the most important thing for GM right now is their powertrains, their drivetrains, and reliability. We can talk about screen size when you have some of the most reliable cars on the road. See, for me personally, I like the idea of my Duramax. I do. I like my truck. It does everything I need it to do. The problem is, in the back of my mind, my oil cooler is going to fail. See, I actually plug my truck in even when it's only 30 degrees outside. Now, I do run a 15W40, and so that's another reason why I do it. And I know you can run 15W40 down to 0 degrees, but if you've ever started up your truck, take a look at the oil pressure. That sucker is almost at max. So for me, even though it's cost me a little bit more a month to plug my truck in, I like the idea for my block to be as hot as it can get. That way when that oil starts running through, my oil pressure can come down a lot quicker. That's the only reason why I do that. And I know people, got on me about it. They say that I'm ridiculous, but there's a lot of oil cooler failures happening. I showed you one of them, and there was like 2 more in the shop just before the one that I showed you. So they're happening. The cam lifter failures on the 6.2 and the 5.3. These are all issues that are happening. And it's really because of the fact that the manufacturers did not allow the consumers to have their back. They allowed this crazy government to come in, the previous one, and then the one from 08 to 2016, right? They allowed those administrations to come in and just destroy the automotive world. It's so upside down. I mean, the V8s are so outdated. I don't know if the manufacturers even have money to update them. Think about all the money they've spent for the EVs. Think about all the money that Ram has spent on that Hurricane 6-cylinder turbocharged engine. Same goes for Ford. Everyone's running a twin turbo engine that's a 6-cylinder, or even the 4-cylinder turbos that GM offers too. And it's all in the name of trying to save the environment. So yes, there are a lot of issues happening, and to hear that GM is not doing many changes with their powertrains is kind of disheartening. Just a little bit, right? A little bit. So the last thing I want to talk about, because this is probably the biggest issue, even above the powertrains for some people, is their seats. My goodness, if someone works at GM, send this video and just skip to this part of the video. If you fix anything on these trucks, let this be the first thing: your seats. Your seats are the biggest complaint I get. That is like the biggest complaint I get in my comments, is the seats are too hard. Fix your seats. Here's a good idea. Go sit inside of a Ford, then go sit in your truck, and then go sit in a Ram truck. They basically have GM and Ford seats figured out. I really think that Ram did that. They went to GM, man, these seats are hard. Then they went over to Ford, these seats are soft. And then Ram just made them just right. Like, they're like perfect. And then on top of that, make the seat cushions wider. Make them a little bit deeper. Give them some thigh support. My goodness, like, apart from being reliable for the powertrain, comfort is probably the next best thing. And I would even say that the Cadillac seats are not big enough. So yes, there's a lot of stuff that GM needs to iron out. Fix these 10-speed transmissions, specifically in the HT segment. I'm not sure if the half tons are having issues, but in the HD segment, there have been some failures. Fix the oil cooler failure for the HDs. Obviously with these V8s, do some updates. The biggest thing, if it's true, I heard that you're already gonna get rid of the deactivation of the cylinders. That should help with some of the issues you're having with the cam lifter failures, right? You know, lower the oil change intervals, maybe make them 5,000 or less. I mean, we don't have to go 7,500, 10,000 miles on oil changes. And people will do it because they want to save money. But if it's at the cost of their engines going out after warranty, that kind of sucks too. So let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section. Like I said, I wanted to do this video because this is very important. I think that GM has a lot of work to do. And in order for them to really continue on with this success, like they've had success, as you guys saw. Last year, they sold 540,000 trucks. That's insane. And if they want to continue that, they have to fix some of these issues that people have been complaining about. One of the biggest issues they had was their interior. When they fixed that in 2022 for the half tons, and then 2024 for the HDs, that went away. No one's complaining about their interiors. But now the seats are too hard, and reliability is your next issue to tackle. So again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope it was helpful. See you guys soon.